This is the story of Sally, the runaway monkey. Do you know why she ran away? One afternoon she went to visit the dentist. He put her in his big chair and tied a bib under her chin. Then he got ready to pull 2 of Sally's teeth. Sally didn't like the look of the shiny tools on the dentist's table. So what did she do? She leaped out of the dentist's chair, ran to a window, opened the screen, and popped out as quick as a wink. Sally slid down the drain pipe and ran under some bushes. The dentist called to his assistants to help him catch Sally. They rushed outside. They looked this way and that. But where was the monkey? They walked around the building, looking under the bushes, and they searched every nook and corner. What do you suppose they found? Only a big black and gray cat. The dentist called for a policeman to come and help find Sally. The policeman in a blue uniform whistled for another policeman to help him in the strange search. Officer Flanagan took off his hat and scratched his head.
"How do we go about finding a monkey?"
he asked his friend. "Why not call the office and see what the sergeant suggests?" said the other policeman. Officer Flanagan picked up the telephone and asked,
"Sergeant, how do you find a runaway monkey?"
The police sergeant was puzzled and answered,
"Just look everywhere."
Sally kept out of sight the rest of that day. Bright and early the next morning, Sally climbed in the bathroom window of a home. She saw a shiny white bathtub. The monkey sat on the back of the tub and slid down to the bottom. When the woman walked into her bathroom, she saw the monkey. "Help!" she screamed. Sally was frightened. She made one jump for the window and disappeared. Sally was a curious monkey. She thought it was fun to peek into strange places. She went down the street and jumped through a bedroom window. There was a bunk bed in the corner. Now, Johnny was in the bathroom washing his face and brushing his teeth. When Johnny went back to his bedroom, imagine his surprise to see a monkey on his bed.
"Hey, Dad, there's a monkey on my bed."
"You're dreaming, Johnny. Come to breakfast."
"Come and see."
Dad had been reading his morning newspaper. He had seen the story of Sally, the runaway monkey. "Do you suppose it could be that monkey?" he muttered, hurrying to the bedroom. Not only was Sally there, but Johnny's cat, Plucky, was romping on the bed with the monkey. They were turning somersaults and tumbling about in great glee. When Sally saw Johnny and his father, she zipped out the window. Again she was free. Sally frolicked from house to house in the neighborhood. Mrs. Brown called to the policeman who was walking along the sidewalk.
"She's in my kitchen."
Mrs. Green called to the policeman. "There's the monkey on my garbage can eating lettuce leaves." 6-year-old Susan clapped her hands and shouted,
"Oh, look, there's the monkey running along our fence."
But no one was able to get near Sally to catch her. All this time, Sally was only 2 blocks from her home. The runaway monkey had come from the faraway land of India to live in the big medical building high on a hill in the big city. She had lived in a clean, cozy cage for 3 years. When Sally had jumped out of the window of the dentist's office, she had found herself in an exciting city in a big world. She was having a wonderful time. She was not ready to go home. Sally visited the apartment where 2 nurses lived. While the young women were eating lunch, they saw Sally sitting on their back porch looking at them. One nurse ran to the cupboard to get a banana, while the other woman hurried to telephone the dentist. The nurse put the banana on the windowsill. Sally took the banana, peeled it carefully, and ate it. When the men came to catch Sally, she escaped through a hole that only a monkey could find. Then Sally had her picture taken. This is how it happened. A newspaper photographer asked the nurses if he could set up his camera in their apartment. He thought the monkey might come back for another banana. He fastened one end of a string to the shutter of his camera and then tied a banana to the other end. If Sally came back and took the banana, she would pull the string and snap the camera. In this way, she would take her own picture. Sure enough, Sally came back for lunch. She saw the banana and wanted it. The clever monkey carefully peeled it, took out the good fruit, but left the peeling so it did not pull the string. The photographer was watching inside the room. When Sally did not pull the string, the man snapped her picture anyway. Once more, the monkey leaped to safety. The man had her picture, but Sally was still free. The frisky monkey was having a gay time. People left food for her everywhere she went. She would find fruit on windowsills, peanuts on back porches, and cookies and slices of bread on stairways. There were plenty of dark corners where she could sleep hidden from searchers. What fun it was to watch the people try to catch her. Sally could jump away from them every time. Dozens of boys and girls chased her on their bicycles and skates, but she would climb a tree or leap from one roof to another before they got too near. One day, the policemen, the dentists, the photographers, and the newspaper reporters made up their minds they must catch Sally. The monkey had been running about long enough. Officer Flanagan telephoned the fire chief.
Could you send some firemen to help us catch Sally?
Yes, I guess so, the fire chief said with a laugh. We'll send a truck with ladders. The next morning, everyone in the neighborhood was on the lookout for Sally. 7 firemen, 3 policemen, and newspaper reporters and photographers were ready. 3 animal keepers had come from the medical building with nets to catch Sally. Soon there was news that Sally was playing in the park with the wild rabbits and the quail. Then she was seen perched on the top of a 2-story house. Next, she was found eating a breakfast of melon rind and boiled potato she had found in a garbage can. What a little monkey she was. A housewife called from her window,
Here she is!
The people on the sidewalk looked up and saw Sally sitting on the roof eating an orange. She threw the peelings down to the men who were trying to catch her. The fire truck came, and the firemen raced up to the house with their ladders. Quickly, they climbed onto the roof. "We'll catch her now," one fireman called to the others. The firemen walked up and down the roof, looking for Sally. Where was she? She had scooted down the side of the chimney and dropped to an upstairs porch. Before the firemen could climb down to the porch, Sally skipped to the housetop next door.
That monkey certainly is a funny little guy,
said Officer Flanagan as he trudged back to his motorcycle.
She is making a monkey out of me.
When Mr. White got home that evening from work, he saw garbage scattered all over his back porch, and he muttered,
Those horrid youngsters. I'll go next door and tell their mother about it.
Mr. White started down the front steps when, plop, a lettuce leaf hit him on the head. Mr. White looked up and saw Sally grinning at him from the gutter on the roof. Pointing his finger at Sally, he said,
Ah, so you're the mischief maker that scattered the garbage.
Suddenly, Mr. White thought of the 3 little monkeys his uncle had brought him from India on his 7th birthday. They were a paperweight carved in stone, and as a boy he had kept the monkeys on his dresser. One monkey had his hands over his eyes, and underneath were the words, See no evil. Another monkey had his hands over his ears with the words, Hear no evil. The 3rd monkey had his hands over his mouth with the words, Speak no evil. As Mr. White remembered his little stone monkeys, he was glad he had not gone to his neighbor and spoken unkind words. Bill, a young man working on the roof of a building, thought he had Sally cornered. The monkey and the man came face to face on top of the building. Bill chased the monkey to a corner where he was sure he could catch her. Sally saw the man coming closer and closer. She was frightened. Then she made a noise at Bill like a tea kettle boiling. Shh, she hissed. Bill stopped. Then slowly he backed away. He was afraid to pick up Sally because he knew monkeys can bite. While Bill wondered what to do, Sally jumped from the roof to a telephone pole. She was still free. All this time, Sally's keeper at the medical building thought she would come home. He left her cage door open day and night.
If people would only stop feeding her, she might come home,
He said.
She's really having fun, I guess,
The dentist said with a smile. For 11 days, the little runaway monkey frolicked about the big city. It was a gay holiday for Sally. Then one morning, Sally capered toward the medical building. She had decided to go back to her nice home where her monkey friends lived. On the way, she saw some men working on a new building. She was curious to see what they were doing, so she skipped over to watch. She ran up the front steps and into the new building. It was a big place. It was going to be a new hospital. No one was around when she entered the building. She looked here and there and went up the stairs. She saw some men down the hall, so she quickly darted up the stairway to the 3rd floor. Sally sat in a window for a while, watching the cars and the people down below. She thought someone saw her, so she ran up another flight of stairs. Up and up and up she went, until she reached the top of the 15-story building. My, it was high up there. Sally looked out on the big, wide world. She could even see the blue ocean on the west. Then some workmen spied Sally. They came slowly toward her, hoping she would not see them.
Sally can't get away this time,
one workman whispered, looking down the 15 stories to the street. Poor Sally was scared when she saw the men coming toward her. She wished she had never run away. She looked this way and that way. What could she do? Where could she go? She ran to the edge of the roof and slipped over the edge. She hung on to the edge with her 2 hands. As she swung back and forth, she looked at the ground far below. It was so far down, and there was no roof or porch nearby where she could jump. Poor Sally was frightened as the men came closer and closer. When the men were about to grab Sally, she let go and jumped out into space, and down, down, down she went. Sally hit the ground and lay still. She looked like a tiny ball of fur. A workman rushed over to pick up the monkey. Was she dead? He carried her gently to the medical building. The doctor came running to care for her. The doctor listened to Sally's heart. Yes, it was beating, and the monkey was breathing. She was not dead. The doctor examined Sally carefully. Then they put her in front of a strange machine and took X-ray pictures of her. When the doctor looked at the X-ray pictures, he said to his assistant,
She has no broken bones, and I can't see any injuries.
"Do you think Sally will live?" the nurse asked hopefully.
Yes, I think so,
the doctor answered. The dentist and his assistants tiptoed around the clean white room. Visitors could not come to see Sally. Finally, a photographer was allowed to take a picture of the sad-faced monkey as she lay perfectly still. An hour later, she opened her black eyes. She raised her fuzzy head and looked around. She was lying on the softest bed she had ever lain on. Once more she laid her head on the small white sheet and sighed. It was good to be home. Sally slept. When she awoke, the doctor gave her some fruit juice. She sipped it and looked up at the doctor as though to say, "Bring me my dinner. I'm hungry." Sally was tired, and her bones ached. She was sorry she had run away. It was a happy day when she was moved back to her own cage. The telephone began to ring. Someone wanted to know how Sally was. It rang again and again, for many people in the big city wanted to know about Sally.
Yes, she is doing fine,
the doctor answered happily, over and over. Sally kept up a busy chatter in her cage. Don't you suppose Sally was telling her monkey friends about her exciting adventures? A few days after Sally's dizzy leap, the director of the city zoo called the doctor.
"Everyone in the city loves the little monkey and has been interested in her adventures," the zoo director told the dentist. Wouldn't it be a good idea to have Sally in the zoo where everyone could come to see her?
What do you suppose the dentist answered?
Yes, he agreed. Sally is interested in people, too. We'll think about it, and when she is strong and well, perhaps we can give her to the zoo.
Several months later, the dentist called the zoo director on the telephone.
Sally is well and strong now. We've decided if you still want her, she can go to live in the zoo.
So Sally, the runaway monkey, went to live at the zoo, where Pokey, the runaway bear, lives.